Folks, do you know why we call this agent night, even though the sun is still up? Anybody? Because it eclipsed today. Ah, all right. All right, like everybody else, WorkOS and other people building for engineers, we at Evil Martians realized we have a new client. We have a new client category. We have a new buyer persona, even the agent, right? Now, like everybody else, we're trying to make sure agents can discover our product. And specifically for developer tools, it's actually a quite interesting story. So let me show you this. I built this page. It's on ruby.evilmartians.com/test. I built it originally for Ruby community. And I'm going to show you something. So Left Hook is our open source project. This is the documentation website. Looks like this. Very simple. And this is the repo. Okay? So we press analyze, and first we analyze agent retrieval. Very simple thing, right? How well agents can find our content. But what's important here is that for developer tools, there are two important paths. One is the path of content, the path of web search, finding your website, right? Searching content on your website. And this is where, I'm sure many of you already know this, you gotta have enable crawlers, etc., allow MD format as well, because you don't want agents to spam tokens on SVGs and stuff. But then there's also the repository path, and agents search on GitHub very, very easily, and they're very likely to search on GitHub. And this is where your documentation repository, the repository that holds all the information about your product for the users, should be on GitHub, should have permissive license. This is the single most important determinant. And then you need to also have description and topics. This is what enables search. But think about this. If your documentation is not on GitHub with MIT license, you're not discoverable through this very important path. So go and do this, you know. And the second thing is we're testing what models actually remember about our product even before agents start doing the web search, right? You actually want the model to know something about your product. And you can actually influence that. And again, there are two paths to get into the training sets for the new models. One path is content. And content path is incredibly difficult. So yes, you need to be crawled by Common Crawl and other crawlers, and it's similar to SEO, they check centrality, etc. The problem is 95% of content never makes it to the training set. Because why? Because, well, labs want to filter out everything that is not knowledge. They want to filter out bullshit that the internet is so full of. But that's why what they do is they're looking for content that looks like textbooks. And most of our documentations, blog posts, etc., they are not that. They just never pass that filter. You can actually get this filter from this project. By the way, there's a link to GitHub. This is fully open source. You can use all of this stuff that this is built on. You can check. I think you can build a few pages in this textbook style and experiment with that. But it's much easier to use GitHub. It's a lot easier for content to get into the training sets for models through GitHub. And again, I'm just telling you, just do this. You know, it's not that hard. And again, you will find some details about this here. By the way, we built a skill that you can use. I forgot to mention this. You can use the skill. It will, manage this all for you. But there's then also a probe that we are running to test if your content, if the models can actually reproduce your content, recall, remember it. And for Left Hook, it doesn't remember that. And the reason for that is the model needs not only to get your content in training data, right? It also needs to. It's like humans. You need to come across the same stuff again and again and again. And it could be different things, how you can make this work. It could be a very similar nicely maybe commented boilerplate code of how your product is integrating with others. And again, if this boilerplate is repeated again and again in open source repositories, then the model will remember that. And hopefully your comment will be explaining what the product is actually doing. The other thing we did, okay, I'm out of time, but I'll just show you this. We used this little hack. So we have lots of open source repositories. We just put this line about our company on all of our open source repositories. And we checked that the models do remember that. They do remember what Evil Martians are. So yeah, try that, and yeah, let me know. Thank you.